Welcome back, guys. What we will see in this lecture is how we can explore the sample reports in Power BI service and how we can also export them and edit them in the Power BI desktop. So, to reach the Power BI service samples, all you have to do is click on the learn button that comes after ellipsis. There are chances that the learn button is available for you over here, and there are also chances that it comes under the ellipsis if you have some more workspaces or the recent items or reports currently open. So you click on learn, and this opens up the learning center for Power BI, tells you how to use this, how to go ahead and read the documentation, joining the Power BI community. And further down, there are all of these samples that are available to you. So let me open one of these samples and let me tell you there are a good category and variety of samples: competitive marketing analysis, customer profitability, sales, human resource, IT, opportunity, artificial intelligence. All of these options are available, all of these samples are available for you to have a look at. So go ahead and select the artificial intelligence sample, and this will open up first in the view mode. Okay, so once you open up a report, it opens up in the view mode. You can have a look at it as a user, how a user will have a look at this. All of these amazing tabs are created, those are called as pages. And then go ahead and click on edit button, and that will make all of these visuals and slicers editable, and you can change things. You can add new visuals by clicking on the visualizations. You can add filters. You can change the data, change the KPIs, change the text formatting or the page formatting. You can do all of that. Once you have done all of that, go back to the reading view, and this will take us back to the view which it came in. Further, what we're going to do is we have an option to export this sample and analyze it in Excel, PowerPoint, and as well as PDF. You can share it further and of course embed this thing in Teams and chat about it, get more insights, etc. What I'm going to show you now is go ahead and click on file and click on download this file. So once you download this file, you get two options. One is to download a copy of your report and data embedded in the report. And the second is the copy of the report with a live connection to the data online. So in this report, the data is embedded. There is no live connection, and that's why the second option is not available for me. But the first one is, and I can click on download, and this will export this report in .pbix format. So what this format will do is this will allow me to open up this particular report in Power BI desktop and do further data modeling, do further report building, do further customization as I wish. So I will now show you how to import this in the Power BI desktop. So you see that this report is now available and in my local system as a .pbix file. I will now open up Power BI desktop, and then we can import this report and see if we can edit this. All right, I have opened up my Power BI desktop, and I can click on the open other reports option from here, or if you do not have the screen on startup, you can go to file and open. So let me just go here and choose the file that we have downloaded, that is the artificial intelligence sample file, and click on open. Once you do that, Power BI desktop will open up and make the report available to you in edit mode, and you can then further do changes, add visuals, change the data, add more tabs, change the customization, look and feel, and then further publish it. So everything is customizable and available for you. All of these charts are ready for you, and you can further change the x-axis, y-axis, the formatting, the data, etc. So this is how easy it is to use the samples available in the Power BI service, and export it to the Power BI desktop. You can take cue from these amazing samples. It definitely holds a lot of value. The thought behind creating these charts, how these visuals are created, the kind of visuals that are created, how the connection has been made, how the grouping has been made and made available to you in different pages. All of that, do give it a view, do give it a thought on the creation of these samples and take hint from it and use those ideas when you create your own report. Thank you, and I will see you in the next lecture. Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, we will have a look at how to capture diagnostic information from the Power BI service. See, before you contact Microsoft support for help with a problem you're having with the Power BI service, you can collect files that will help Microsoft solve your problem. It's recommended to get a browser trace from your browser session. Now, what is about browser trace? It's a diagnostic file that can provide important details about what is happening in the Power BI service when the problem occurs. Power BI admins can also use the help and support experience in the Power Platform Admin Center to get the self-help solutions and to contact support. Now the diagnostic files that we're talking about will be that you collect by using the steps we will talk about now. Attach them to your support request to help with the troubleshooting. So to collect a browser trace and other session information, it depends on the browser that you are using. And if you are if you have to collect diagnostic information from Power BI desktop, there is a different step that we will see. So first we will have a look at Power BI service. Uh, it depends on the browser, as I said. For Firefox, it's a different way. For Apple Safari, it's a different way. And for Google Chrome and Microsoft, it's a different way. Edge. So Chrome and Edge both are based on Chromium open source project. And that's why if either you are working in Edge or Chrome, you can use this way to collect the trace. So we will use developer tools and those are similar in both the browsers. So once you are in the Power BI service, you have to press F12. So you press F12 on your keyboard. You can even go to developer tools, in Edge, and you can even right click and click customize. You can even go from there over here. Now prepare to collect the browser trace by setting the trace options. You'll also have to stop and clear any information that was collected before you start to reproduce the problem. So by default, the browser keeps trace information only for the page that's currently loaded. So in order to set up the browser to keep all trace information, even if your repo goes to more than one page, so in this developer tools window, you have to go to the network tab and there is an option called as preserve log and that should be checked. Okay. Then further you go to the console tab and also under the settings over here, there is an option of preserve log that you have to check and then you can click back the settings to hide. Just confirm, you click on settings, the preserve log should be checked, and to hide the settings back on the console, you can click on the settings button again. Okay, next you have to stop and clear any recording that is in progress. To do that, you have to go to network. There is this button over here that says stop recording network log. You have to click this. Then there is this next button that says clear network log. You have to again click this. So this will stop and clear all the recordings that are in progress. Now what you have to do is you have to refresh the browser so that all the traces are correctly captured and you make sure that recording is not in progress and everything is cleared, all good. Now we will reproduce the problem that we were having in the Power BI service. I would strongly suggest to do this. You click on this and dock it to the right side, and then you can, increase or decrease the size of this window, uh, and then you have enough space to, reproduce the problem that you are having. So what we will do now is we will click on start recording the network log. Okay, let's now, do certain things, and let's now add the filters. Let's now edit one of these, pin this visual, and click on pin, and then close this. And maybe you might want to, rearrange any of these charts. So select this chart and maybe rearrange it, or maybe not. uh, all of this is possible. You can probably click on edit and move it over here so that it's visible, and then move the chart on the top, and let's say move this particular one over here. So you're doing all this to record activities. I'm not having any issue right now, but in case you're facing certain issues in map not updating, uh, any visual not updating correctly, any filter not behaving properly, or anything that should work as expected is not working correctly, then you have to reproduce that problem. And you will see that all of this is currently being captured. So what I'll again do is I will go ahead and dock this over here. So a lot of this has already been captured, and this is currently, the recording is in progress. What I'll do now is I will, let's say I have reproduced all the issues that were causing me trouble. I will click on the stop recording network log. So as you reproduce the problem, you will see an output in the developer tools window, and now you will have to save the log file and attach them to your support request. Now to export the network log, you have this option which saves the file in a HAR format. So you have to click this and it will save it in an HAR file in your local machine, right? It's kind of easy. Now package the saved HAR file, console output, and screen recording in a compressed format such as .zip, and attach the file in your support request. This will help the support engineer to solve your problem. The HAR file will contain all the information about network requests between the browser window and the Power BI service. It includes the activity ID for each request, the precise timestamp for each request, and any error information that is returned to the client. This trace will also contain the data used to populate the visuals shown on the screen. So this is how you are able to capture diagnostic information from the Power BI service. And whenever you raise a support request, this is the best way to deal with it. Reproduce the problem, first clear the network log, then restart the recording, save it as an HAR file, add it to your request, and then share with the support team member, and they will be happy and will be able to solve your problem in a better way. Great, thank you, and I will see you in the next lecture. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture, we will have a look at the custom visuals. What are the custom visuals in Power BI and where can we get them from? See, Power BI visuals come from three main sources. One are the core visuals that are readily available on the visualization pane. So you open any of your reports and you see that there are visualizations that are present over here. These are called as the core visuals that are readily available on the visualization pane. Further, you can download or import visuals from app source or Power BI. And third, you can create your own custom visuals, right? So these are three main sources. First is you take it from the visualization pane. Second is from the app source. And third is your own custom visuals you create in D3 and then you import it over here. Now we will look at all of these three one by one. So first is the core Power BI visuals. Uh, so these are all the out of the box visuals that are available to all the designers. Uh, these are available in the pane of both Power BI desktop and Power BI service and can be used for creating and editing Power BI content. So also there are a lot of things that you can do. You can select any of these charts, but you can also probably would like to right click and unpin the visual so it goes away from this particular area. So you see that this has gone from this area. You might want to restore default visuals and then this particular chart will come back in your visualization pane. So this is how you use the default visuals. You can remove them, you can re-add them. Now comes the next way of getting visuals in Power BI, that is the app source Power BI visuals. So you can click on the ellipses over here and can choose get more visuals. So once you click on get more visuals, it opens up the visuals from the app source. So you see there are all visuals, there are organizational visuals, and then there are app source visuals. You can also even go to appsource.microsoft.com, which will open up the Power BI visuals and will have all of these visuals that you can find directly under Power BI, or you can go down to their respective app source links and then choose to read more about it and can install them from there. So this is the way you can use app source visuals. Now what is app source? It is the place to find apps, add-ins and extensions for your Microsoft software. It connects millions of people who use products such as Microsoft 365, Azure, Cortana, Power BI, to solutions that help them work more efficiently and the visuals are developed by Microsoft and the community members for public benefit. They publish them to the app source. So be aware that Microsoft has already tested these Power BI visuals and approved them. So do not have to worry about whether these will work or not, whether they will work with the current version or not, whether there is any data integrity issue. All of these visuals are all tested by Power BI for functionality and quality. You can directly install these visuals over here and you can even go to their website, download a sample and then add them to your Power BI reports. So this is something that you can do. So what I'll show you is if you go to their website, let's say we have this word cloud. So I will click on this. This will give me some options about and some details about pricing, get it now, and then also download sample. It gives you a complete detail about what this visual is, what are its ratings and reviews. Is there something that people are worried about? So you see it has got a good 4.2 rating. 54% has given a 5-star, which is great. And then there are more details and support, right? Like what are the legal agreement, privacy policy, what is the version of it. If you want to get more information or if you are facing some troubles, you can click on support and it will take you to the place where you can raise your concern. So this is possible. So understand that there are multiple ways of downloading data, downloading visuals from Power BI visuals app source. Downloading visuals is free, but each publisher defines their own business and licensing model for their visual. So there are both free and paid. Free visuals that you can download and use without additional cost. There are licensed visuals that are managed from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. These visuals are available in a limited capacity for free with the option to purchase more features. And then you can click on the buy button in the app source and then buy them. And then there are visuals that you can download with basic functionality for free but have additional features available for pay. And then those particular visuals have the additional purchase may be required. labels. So if you scroll down, so most of them are free, 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 and then probably you'll find, so you see additional purchase may be required. So the basic version is free, but with more features comes, it comes with bit of payment that you have to provide in the app source directly. So you might want to just click on this, and if you see you have additional purchase may be required, you can click on get it now, and it downloads a version of it, and then you can select the ellipses, down import a custom visual, select the custom visual file. We'll show that over here again in a demo, and then get it. So this is something that you can do. I will show you now that, hey, if you go here and go ahead and click on the three ellipses, import a visual from a file, click on import, and it goes in the download section. This is the histogram version that I have brought in. So this is the histogram, and then you can right click and click on pin to visualizations pane, and you see it appears in your visualization pane. So this is how it is. You can restore default visuals. So all of this will be there. Any pinned visuals will not be impacted, so this will still be here. What else I want to show you is get more visuals. You click on this, and once it opens the window of app source, you can simply click over here, and also you can add this word cloud to your Power BI. So you see your word cloud is as well added, and it's over here. So you can right click and click on pin to visualizations pane, and it appears over here. What I also would like to show you is, if I go back to apps over here and I go ahead and look at word cloud, it's not available over here, but let me go back and go back. If I search for it now, I see that there's a word cloud open. So you see that it also allows you to download a sample. So you click on download sample, and it downloads a sample for you. So I will open the Power BI desktop now. I will click on open other reports from the welcome screen, and I will choose the word cloud file that I just downloaded from the samples. This will open up the whole dashboard or the whole report, and you see that in this way you can have a look at how the word cloud will perform. These are the simple tabs that they have provided. These are the different options that you can have. uh, you can even have something like this and even something like this. So there is some more article on this, how to use it, and these are the stop words and other words. So you can choose some settings to see what are the category, what are the value, all of that options are available over here. Under the design, you have some general options: maximum number of repeated words, maximum number of words, is the word breaking on or not, what are the data colors, some really, and if you want to keep the stop words on or not. So if you remove the stop words, it will put up some stop words from being a part of the word cloud. You can even turn them back on. So all of this you can find out that, hey, yeah, this is how this Power BI custom visual from app source, this is how it works. And if it is really worthy for you to go ahead and install it, and if it's a paid version, worthy for you to go ahead and pay for it for all the features, and then use it in your reports. So this is how you use the custom visuals in your Power BI desktop and service. Definitely there is a way to create your own custom visuals, and that's something that only Power BI Pro developers can do. If you have a Pro license, you can create your visuals, store it in a .pbiviz file, and then upload it over here. Also, a word of caution that if you are getting some PBIPs file from someone which is a custom visual, Microsoft has not tested it. It can be risky, so make sure that you are getting all the visuals from trusted sources. This was all about the custom visuals. Let me just recap. There are three ways you can bring in visuals in Power BI. One is the visuals in the filter pane that are the default visuals that comes out of the box. The second is the visuals from app source. You can directly install them directly in the Power BI service and as well in Power BI desktop. And the third is the custom visual that are saved locally by that are created and saved locally by someone in .pbis file, and that you can import it how you usually import it by going to the visuals and by clicking over here, import a visual from a file. So all of this is possible, and these are the different ways you can get visuals in your Power BI desktop and service. I hope this article was useful. Thank you, and I will see you in another lecture. Now, generally, when we save our Power BI desktop projects, they are saved as .pbix project. Power BI Desktop introduces a new way to author, collaborate, and save your projects. You can now save your work as a Power BI project, that is PBIP extension and not PBIX extension. Now, PBIP is a project extension. As a project, report and dataset artifact definitions are saved as individual plain text files in a simple, intuitive folder structure. Saving your work as a project has some good benefits. First, there is a text editor support. Artifact definition files are JSON formatted text files, contains model dataset and report metadata. They are publicly documented and human readable. While project files support simple text editing tools like Notepad, it's definitely better to use a code editor like VS Code, which provides a rich editing experience, including IntelliSense, validation, Git integration, etc. The another benefit you get is programmatic generation and editing artifact definitions. You can create scripts using the popular and easy to use TMSL, or create your own custom applications to make changes to your artifact definitions. Then another advantage is source control. Power BI dataset and report artifact definitions can be stored in a source control system like Git. With Git, you can track version history, compare revisions, and revert to previous versions. Source control can also unblock collaboration when using Power BI desktop by using familiar collaboration mechanisms for resolving conflicts and reviewing changes. And the last advantage you get with Power BI project extension is that there is a continuous integration and continuous delivery. You can use systems where developers in your organization submit a proposed change to the CI/CD system. The system then validates the change with a series of quality gates before applying the change to the production system. And these quality gates can include code reviews by other developers, automated testing, and automated build to validate the integrity of the changes. Now, how do we do this? How do I save it not as a PBIX but as a PBIP? You can simply go ahead and do it in the file save as, but even before you do that, you have to enable the preview features. So currently, because it's in preview, so you go to file, you go to options and settings, and then you go to options. So it will give you a whole list of options, and under the preview features, you will see that currently there is a new option called as Power BI project save option, that is .pbip save option. You check this and click OK. Great. So if you are working on a new project or you have opened an existing Power BI desktop file, you can now save your work as a Power BI project file. So how to do that? You can click on file, you can click on save as, and it now gives me an option of Power BI project file, right? So I will save it as Power BI project file and I will just rename it. So now you see the extension, it's PBIP, and I will now click save. Great. Now, once you do that, the Power BI desktop saves report and dataset artifacts as folders, and each of these contains text files that defines the artifact. So let me now open up the folder and I'll show you what all is inside that folder. All right. When you save your Power BI report as a project, Power BI Desktop saves report and dataset artifacts as folders, each containing files that define the artifact. So you see these two different folders, that is dataset and report. You will also see two different files separately in that folder. One is gitignore and the another is the project name. So first is, under the dataset folder, you will see a collection of files and folders that represent a Power BI dataset. Contains some of the most important files you are likely to work on, like model underscore BIM. These are the BIM files. So you can get more information on website, on the documentation of Power BI. But this is a good information that these are the two folders that are available to you under the project folder, and you can modify them over here. Another is the report folder. It's a collection of files and folders that represents a Power BI report. Again, you will find more information about each one of these files in the documentation that you might want to read through. Another file that we get is the git ignore file. It specifies intentionally untracked files Git should ignore. The dataset and report subfolders each have default git ignored files specified in .git ignore. Further, there is a project file, which is this one. This is a PBIP file that I have generated. It opening this PBIP opens the target report and model for authoring. So you can simply click this and open the Power BI file. So you can open the Power BI desktop from Power BI project folder using the PBIP file. So that's kind of easy. Also, you can save multiple reports and data sets to the same folder. Having a separate PBIP file for each report is not required because you can open each report directly from the PBIR within the report folder. Now, also remember that when you save it as a project, you are not forced into making changes to your dataset and report definitions only in the Power BI desktop. You can use other tools such as VS Code, open source community tools like Tabular Editor, or even Notepad. Now, not every file or change supports editing by external open source tools. Also, changes to files or properties outside of Power BI desktop can cause unexpected errors or even prevent Power BI desktop from opening. In those cases, you must resolve the issues in the files before trying to open the project again in the Power BI desktop. Another important thing to note here is, that Power BI desktop doesn't support tables with multiple partitions. Only a single partition for each table is supported, and creating tables with empty partitions or more than one partitions will result in an error while you opening the report. Automatic data tables created by Power BI desktop should not be changed by using external tools. Changing a column's data type is supported. However, renaming columns is not supported. If the dataset has auto date or time feature enabled and you create a new date time column outside of Power BI desktop, the local data table is not automatically generated. And any expression edits outside of Power BI desktop in a project with unapplied changes.json are lost when those changes are applied. Power BI desktop is not aware of changes made with other tools or applications. Changes made by using external tools require you to restart Power BI desktop before those changes are shown. Secondly, sensitivity labels are also not supported with Power BI projects. Also, downloaded PBIX isn't supported for workspaces with Git integration. So there are a lot of limitations and considerations, but definitely it has a lot of other advantages when you save your Power BI report as a project. So there are more questions around it. For example, if you convert a PBIX to PBIP, can you convert it back to PBIX? Yes, you can save a PBIX as a PBIP or save a PBIP as PBIX. So it's kind of easy. You cannot save it programmatically. You can only using the Power BI desktop file save as option. You can even only do it in that way. Uh, Again, to reiterate, Power BI desktop is not aware of the changes you make to the Power BI project files from an external tool or applications. Any changes made to the files require Power BI desktop to be restarted to reflect those changes. I think this gives you a very good information and introduction to Power BI project. Save as option. It's currently in preview. It will soon be live, and going forward, I think this will be a good way to share those projects with your colleagues if you have to share it externally as a local file. Great, thank you. I hope this lecture was kind of useful, and I will see you in the upcoming one. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We will now see in this lecture how to show the data used to create a Power BI visual. See, a Power BI visual is constructed using data from underlying datasets. If you are interested in seeing behind the scenes, Power BI shows you the data that's being used to create a visual. The ability to do this is available in Power BI Desktop and in Power BI Service and is available for almost all visual types. You can also export the data to Excel for visuals in a report and visuals on a dashboard. So we will see this feature in Power BI Desktop. So what we do is we use the visual table to display the data underlying a visual. And how to reach the visual table? You have to select any particular visual, go to data drill, and here is the option of visual table. So this is one way. Another way is, of course, clicking the more options button over here and also selecting this option as show as table. The third way to reach here is you can right click and click on show as a table, and that will as well give you the same result. So I have selected this and now I will click on the visual table. So what it will do is when you select visual table or there's another feature called as data point table. When you select the visual table, Power BI displays both the visual and textual representation of the data. This is coming up in a horizontal view. The visual is displayed on the top half of the canvas and the data is shown on the bottom half. Also, you can toggle between the horizontal view and vertical view by selecting the icon over here in the upper right corner of the canvas. You can switch it back to the horizontal view, or if you want, you have the vertical view as a better, then you can even do that. Now, if you want to go back to the report, you can simply click on back to report and you will reach over here. Also, if you also show the as a table, again it will reach the same place, and if you right click and show as a table, this will as well reach the same place. So this is how you reach the table or the data behind any chart. You can do it for this table as well. You can simply come here, show as a table, and this will show as a table. You can choose to show it in a horizontal or vertical layout. So this is one thing. Now, the second thing that we will also see is using data point table in the Power BI desktop. So you can also focus on one data record in a visual and drill into the data behind it. To use this, you have to first select a visual, let's say this, to make it active. Now select data point table. In the data or drill tab, we have the data point table, and then you have to select a data point or a row or a column on the visual. So moment you do that, you will get this data that's exactly behind that particular bar that I have selected. So you see I've selected only product Paseo and I'm seeing all this data. Let me show that again to you. I have selected under data drill the data point table. I will now choose VTT, and over here I will choose this. VTT and segment is small business. So moment I click this, I will reach the product VTT and segment as small business, and then rest of the data follows. So you see, the I can decide what data I want to see. All I have to do is select the data point table, and here you go. You have the option to export the data, remove it, show as a table, etc. And then I can go back to the report. Also, there are chances that the data point table is not available. For example, this particular chart of a line chart, the data point table is disabled and grayed out. This means that the selected visual does not support data point table. Great. Another thing is that I will first deselect this data point table. Also, you can go to any particular bar. You can just simply right click on this particular bar, and then you have both the options of show as a table and show data point as a table, and then you can reach the same place as I have shown you right now. Great. There are certain considerations and limitations around it. Remember that the data point table or the table cannot be exported to PDF or static PowerPoint. Also, these are available only for specific types of data. So in Power BI service, if you hover over data point and if you don't see the option to, data point table option, then the visuals contains data that does not support it. In Power BI desktop, if the menu option of data point table is grayed out, then the visual contains data that does not support it, right? For example, if the visual has a measure in the value field, showing the data underlying data point will not be available. So you cannot change the data in these views. So example, if you think that okay, there is some outlier, you can select that data point and show data point table, and then maybe want to change the data from there. No, it will only show you the data and you cannot change the data and save it in the report. You can only find the data, and then you have to go back to your data source editor, go back to the Power Query editor, use the data transformation methods like filtering, etc., and then that outlier will go away. Also, the show as a table and visual table views, these are not supported for certain visual types like card, Q&A visual, smart narrative, ArcGIS maps for Power BI visual. So all of these are not supported, so make sure about that. Also, it cannot be exported for to PDF or static PowerPoint. Again, you cannot change the data and save it back to the report. Also, there are certain visuals when it's not supported, and is also not supported when you are connected to a live multi-dimensional model. So this was all about how to reach the data that's behind the Power BI visual. Remember the two things. One is a show as a table, that is for the entire visual, and then show as a data point table that is behind a particular data point in that visual. And these are the two things that will help you do major of your investigations, why some data is incorrect, why some data is not appearing, why there are outliers, and this is really, really helpful. Great, thank you for attending this lecture, and I will see you in another one. Hi everyone and welcome back. In this lecture, we will learn how to change how visuals interact in a Power BI report. So if you have edit permissions for a report, you can use visual interactions to change how visualizations on a report page impact each other. So by default, visualizations on a report page cross filter and cross highlight the other visualizations on the page. For example, if I select a state on a map or a region on a map visualization, it highlights the column chart and filters the line chart to display only data that applies to that one state. So I will now click outside and you will see that all of this data is now restored. So also if you have a visualization that supports drilling, by default drilling one visualization has no impact on the other visualization on the report page. Now there are two options, cross filter and cross highlight, and both of these default behaviors can be overridden and interactions can be set on a per visualization basis. So in this lecture, we will learn how to use the visual interactions in Power BI Desktop and Power BI Service. Now, also if you only have reading access or view access, or the report has been shared with you, you cannot change this visual interaction settings. That has to be done by the developer of this report. Now, the terms cross filter and cross highlight distinguish the behavior described here from what happens when you use the filters pane to filter visualization. Right, so let's now turn on the visual interaction control and we will then customize how the visualizations on the report which filter and highlight each other. So to do that, we will first select any visualization. Let's say we selected this line chart. We then go to the format menu and we click on the edit interactions. So the moment you do this, Power BI adds filter and highlight icons to all of the other visualizations and slicers on the report page. So you see, this is the visualization that I have selected and I have this filter, I have this highlight, I have this filter, I have this filter. These are the options that are now available for me to change. So the line chart is cross filtering the chart, this map chart. The line chart is also cross filtering and cross highlighting the this column chart. So you can now change how the selected visualization interacts with the other visualizations. And how do we do that? We have to change this interaction behavior. So first we have to get familiar with how our visualizations interact by selecting each visual on our report page one at a time. So I've selected first the line chart and then I'm looking at it. I then selecting the map chart and then I'm looking at the other visuals. I then selected the bar chart and you see the the filtering and the highlighting options that are available on the other charts. Now we can also select a data point or a bar or a shape and then watch the impact on the other visualizations. For example, if I'm selecting a country, you see that this is changing and this is changing. So if the behavior you see is not what you would prefer, you can then change the interactions. And if you think it's okay, then you can keep these interactions. Now these changes are saved with the report, so you and your report consumers will have the same visual interaction experience. Now again, start by selecting a visualization to make it active. Notice that all the other visualizations on the page now display interaction icons. These are the interaction icons. The bolded icon, that means this one, is the one that is being applied, and the one that is not bolded and is kind of whitish, that is not being applied. Next, you have to determine what impact you would like the selected visualization to have on the others. You can repeat this for all the visualizations on the report page. Now, what are these options? So, if you want the selected visualization, this one, to cross filter one of the other visualizations on the page, then select the filter icon. So if I select this, that means this will be highlighted. So if you see the earlier the color was white, and now the color is totally black with black filled inside it. So now this particular chart will also filter this particular chart, not just highlight. This particular chart is already filtering this particular chart. If I do not want this to happen, I can click this. It will turn grayish. And now if you see, this particular chart will not filter this one, and I can now select it. So you can only cross filter line chart, scatter chart, and maps. You cannot cross highlight them. Also, if you want the selected visualization to cross highlight one of the other visualization on the page, you can then select the highlight icon. So you can select the highlight icon. Now, if you want the selected visualization to have no impact on one of the other visualizations on the page, then select the no impact icon. So now even if I do, if I select this and if I do this, then even if I mark anything over here, you see nothing is happening over here. No cross filtering, no cross highlighting is happening over here because I have enabled this none option over here. If I come back and change the filter icon over here, if I select this, you will see my charts have changed. That means this selection is now filtering this chart. Also, if I click on highlight, you see that if I am over here and if I select this, my charts get highlighted with only this particular region. So now the filtering is not happening, and but something is happening, and what is that? It is cross highlighting. So this is what is cross highlighting, cross filtering, and also there is an option of none that we can choose. And now you can reiterate this setting for every visual. How do you want to impact one visual by changing the other visual? So this is what is the whole concept of cross filtering and cross highlighting and interactions between visuals. We will also now see how to do this in Power BI service. So let us now see how to achieve the interaction settings in Power BI service as well. So in the Power BI service, you are currently in this view where you can make changes. You can change the view to the reading view. I'll click on save rather. So this is currently the reading view. You have to go to the edit view, and then we have an option over here, which is this one, and it says edit interactions. You have to turn it on. So when you turn this edit interactions on, now if you select any chart, you will see there are further options on the chart that we were seeing in the Power BI desktop. So these are the options available, and there are options to completely remove and filter, and then there is a highlight, filter, and then also remove, like completely disable all the interactions. So all of these settings are as well here. So if I want to change currently, to disable completely any change that happens over here, I don't want that change to happen over here. So this is possible. This is also in a good way that, let's say I want to have this chart, and currently this particular slicer, it filters this particular chart. So if I change any of my dates, you see that this particular chart changes. Now what I'll do is I'll disable this interaction. So what will now happen is, if I change any filter, you will see that this particular chart is not affected by this particular slicer or filter. And this is a very crucial thing to learn in Power BI, is that you have to sometimes make this into effect that one filter is affecting some visuals, but that same filter is not affecting some visuals. For example, there are chances that you might want to show a company level summary, which should not get filtered by changing of any particular region or country or any particular product. In that case, this setting is very helpful. You can come over here, change the interaction to none, and now whatever filter settings you change, this chart will not update. However, if you select this particular filter, you see that this filter is currently on. So now if you choose 2013, you see that still this chart is based on this particular slicer. And if you even want to disable that, you can simply click on none. And now if you change any filter, this particular chart will not update. So this is the beauty of changing the interactions, and this is very, very helpful in many scenarios that a developer faces. Also remember that if you build a matrix with fields from different tables and then try to cross highlight by selecting multiple items at different levels of the hierarchy, you get errors on other visuals. So these are the few considerations to keep in mind. Also, this proves to be a very good RCA as why some filters are not working on certain visuals. You first have to check the interactions between them and make sure that, okay, this is why this is not getting impacted by an action in some another filter or an action in some another chart. Great, this was all about interactions and how we can edit and manage them. Thank you, and I will see you in the next lecture. Welcome everyone. In this lecture, we will talk about another exciting artificial intelligence feature in Power BI, that is Get Insights. So this insights feature, it helps you easily explore and find insights such as anomalies and trends in your data as you interact and consume your reports. It notifies you if there are interesting insights and provides explanation for them. It works out of the box on any report, so you can automatically start getting insights from your reports without any setup. Also, let me tell you, by the time you explore the insights feature, that there are other insight feature that use AI, that is insights for individual visuals, insight for dashboard tiles, insights for data sets, insights for data models. Everything is available in Power BI. So right now we're talking about insights for particular reports. So Power BI automatically runs insight analysis when you open a report. So if I look at the reading view and I click on save, so this will now save. So what I'll talk about is there is a light bulb icon, right? So you see that there is a light bulb in the action bar. So you see this one. So you click on this insight. So this one will turn yellow and toast notifications if there are top insights for visuals in your current report page. Top insights are those that are noteworthy, that are based on factors like recency and significance of the trend or anomaly, right? So these notifications are supported only in premium and PPU workspaces. This will turn yellow and gives you some notifications. But in generally as well, you can get all of these insights by clicking on it. Great. Uh, so you click on get insights when you are in the reading mode. You can see that there are insights over here and then there are top insights over here. Currently they did not find any top insights, but in the all there are a few insights that are available to you. Also, this is currently in the view mode. I can go to even edit mode and I can go to any particular chart, select this, and there is a button of get insights that once you click, this will as well show you in the insights in the edit mode as well. So that's kind of easy. Uh, the pane or this insights, it will show you about the current report page, and it will show you different insights when you go to a different report page. So this is kind of very easy to get insights. Now what kind of insights do you see? That's kind of important and we'll discuss this. So there are three kind of insights: anomalies, trends, and KPI analysis, right? So uh, the if there is anything under top, then it will show you only the top insights, but all will show you both top insights and other insights. So what are these? So these are different kinds of insights. Like first is anomalies. So anomaly is an abnormality in the time series data, such as unexpected spikes and dips in the data. The algorithm computes a boundary around what's considered a normal or expected value. Any value found outside this boundary is marked as an anomaly. So you see there are recent anomalies in sales, significant anomalies in sales. So all of these are available to you for your look. Uh, so significant anomaly, what is that? The anomaly has a high score. Anomaly score indicates how far the point is from the uh, expected range. Then there is a recent anomaly, the most recent anomaly in the measure. And then there are anomaly summaries, right? This insight type summarizes multiple anomalies in the measure. So these are the three different kind of anomalies that you can see under anomaly. And then we have trends. The trend occurs when there is a prolonged increase or decrease in a time series data. So there are a series of steps the Power BI algorithm uses to find meaningful trends. It first performs data smoothing, interpolation, time series sampling. The trends are then identified for statistical significance based on the slope and length of a change in value. The algorithm, it removes noise like seasonality and outliers, right? For example, if the sales jump in December, the algorithm won't mark that as noteworthy trend because it's a common trend for sales to jump around the holiday season, the Christmas season. So what are the different kinds of trends we can see? We can see a steep trend, recent trend, there is a trend reversal, there is a long trend. So what's a long trend? Which is the trend that is significant and is the longest trend within a single series or across multiple series. There is a steep trend, which is the steepest trend within a single series or across multiple series. Recent is the most recent trend, and the trend reversal means that there is a recent trend in a single series or across multiple series in a visual where the reversal is significant compared to previous trend segment. So currently in this chart I do not see any trend reversal, but usually you can find it. Another kind of insights that you can get from the Get Insights option in Power BI is the KPI analysis. So I will click on Get Insights button, and you will see that under all we have some KPI analysis done. So KPI analysis with a target looks at the variance of the current value to its target. It's considered significant if the variance is high or low compared to other segments. KPI analysis without a target looks at the value itself and flag ones that are high or low compared to other segments. Now what I'll also quickly show you is I'll go back to the edit mode and I'll go to the products final. I'll go to rather products, and then I will click here and click on Get Insights. Okay, not this one, probably the products final. I will click on this one and Get Insights. Okay, so you see that there are anomalies and then there are trends. So I can click on any of these cards, right? And then it will tell you more detail about the possible explanations of this anomaly, right? So when an anomaly in your data is flagged, Power BI runs the analysis across different dimensions in your data model to look for spikes or dips in the measure that correlate to the anomaly, right? They are shown as possible explanation ranked by strength. So if you see that this is high in April 2018, there are possible explanation that the reserved room type code is A. And if you see there are sales and then there are the sales for A. So certainly there is a spike. Brand is awesome computers, and that's why there is an anomaly. Age group is 18 to 25. The sales for age group is 18 to 25 was unusually high, which may have lifted the sales total. So you will see all of these, and those are ranked by strength. So great. I mean, if I look at the significant anomaly, it will tell more about all of these explanations that are automatically generated. Also, if you look at the trends, there is a downward trend for Lego. Possible explanations did not get generated, but usually it would if there is sufficient data around it. So this is how anomalies are being described. What about trends? So when a trend in your data is flagged, Power BI looks for and identifies the categories that most influenced the increase or decrease in the identified trend. The possible explanations that would usually generate are ranked based on the relative contributions from different categories to the increase or decrease in trend. So under KPI as well, you get some analysis. So KPI analysis explanations, for that Power BI looks for and identifies the categories that have significantly high or low values. For KPI analysis with target, possible explanations are ranked based on Z scores of the difference of the value from the target. Whereas the KPI analysis without target, possible explanations are ranked based on the Z scores of the value itself, right? Uh, Also, if the insight mentions multiple anomalies or trends, selecting the insight card will show you the details card to help you choose the specific anomaly or the trend or the KPI segment you would like to get explanations for. So this was all about getting insights. A couple of more things about it. There are certain considerations and limitations. That is, these insight option is currently not available in apps and embedded for reports in premium workspaces. Users with PPU license can use insights, and if you see this message that hey, we did not find any insights, uh, you know then there are many possible reasons. That first of all, the data or visuals are not supported, the data doesn't have significant anomalies or trends. You can try filtering your data. There are few functionalities that are not supported, like publish to web, Power BI report server, etc. Also, when you're looking for explanations, sometimes they're not supported in follow in some cases, like top filters, measure filters, include exclude filters, all of that. So if no explanations are fine, you see a message that you did not find any significant explanations. So that as well, that I recently showed you under the KPI, under the trends, that's something, a message that you will get, that we possible explanations are not there because certain filters in the visuals are not supported, right? There you can also see a message like we didn't find any significant explanations. So all of this is about insights, a great way to find out some really good uh, deep knowledge about your data, about the anomalies in your data, about the trends in your data that you might miss when creating these reports. And it gives you really good idea of what all new things that you can put in when creating these reports. What are the insights that you can provide to all the stakeholders and business owners when you are giving presentation, that hey, these are the insights that I could find that you would have probably missed. So this is all about the option generate insights in Power BI. You can do all of this in Power BI desktop as well. I have given you a demonstration in Power BI service, but it's everywhere the same. And I'm sure you would find this explanation kind of useful. You can go ahead and read more documentation around it, and yep, try it out yourself. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, we will talk about smart narratives. The smart narrative visualization helps you provide a quick text summary of visuals and reports. It provides relevant, innovative insights that you can customize. You should use smart narrative summaries in your reports to address key takeaways, to point out trends, and to edit the language and format for a specific audience. Let's say you add a live Power BI report page to PowerPoint. So instead of pasting a screenshot of your report's key takeaways, you can add narratives that update with every refresh. Your audience can use the summaries to understand the data, get to key points faster, and explain the data to others. In this lecture, we will describe how to add a smart narrative to a page for a visual and a smart narrative icon as well to a visual. So to follow along in Power BI service, I have shared a sample with you. You can download the sample in your local and then upload it in Power BI service. So I will tell you how to do that. So you go to Power BI service and you go to the workspace that where you want to save the sample, and then you click on upload. So you need to just click on browse, and then you have to just bring in the sample that I have shared. It's a .pbix format file. You can simply upload it, and then you can create smart narratives for a page or for a visual. You just have to open up in Power BI service. You can do the same in Power BI desktop as well. We are just showing it to you in Power BI service. You have to open up the sample and then use it in the edit mode, where we can then add smart narrative. So this is now importing the data. It's just going to take some time. So here we go. I think it's uploaded. Let's have a look. So if I scroll down, see it. Oh, here you go. So we have two things over here. So one is a report, one is a data set. I have to click on report. So once you click on report, the report loads, and then you can see all the pages that we have, and introduction, transaction, products, etc. It's a beautiful report. And what I'll do is I'll go to the products page, where I think there is already a smart narrative over here that's gonna load. So what we will actually do is we will let this load, or rather I'll actually, yeah, so this is a smart narrative. So I will dismiss this for now. What I'll do is I'll click on edit mode, and this smart narrative I will delete. Okay, now how to add a smart narrative I'm going to show you. So we have something over here called as smart narrative, and it's a part of the visualizations. Automatically by default you will also see the smart narrative visual. So I can click on the smart narrative visual, it will find a spot over here in the empty space, and then it will automatically build up smart narratives. So this is where I can get the smart narratives. So you see a narrative. So once it loads, you will see that it's based on all of the visuals on the page, right? Smart narratives can automatically generate a summary of the report's visuals that addresses revenue, website visits, sales, etc. So Power BI automatically analyzes the trends to show that revenue and visits have both grown. It even calculates the growth. So we will see all of that over here. Right? It's just taking a bit to load, but that is how easily you can get smart narratives in your charts. So in the meanwhile this loads, what I'll also tell you is that there are certain considerations and limitations of using smart narrative. Uh, so smart narratives, what all it, we cannot do with smart narratives, let me tell you in the meanwhile. First of all, you cannot pin it to a dashboard. You cannot use dynamic values and conditional formatting. You cannot publish to web and Power BI report server. It doesn't works on on-prem analysis services. The live connection to Azure analysis as well will not work. So there are these considerations and limitations that you must be aware of the smart narratives. It also doesn't takes into account the map visuals with non-aggregated Latin long, doesn't also takes into account the cards with non-numeric measures. Very importantly, it also doesn't takes into account R visuals or Python visuals or any custom visuals, right? So all of this are the considerations. You will find good set of documentation around it on the Microsoft documents, and then you must be aware of what are the limitations of using this narrative. But definitely it's a great thing to try out. So let's see what do we get. So if you click outside, you will see that, yeah, okay, so revenue increase and visits have increased. So you see it says data for April 2020, and if you see over here, this is for January, and if you February and March, and then we have something for April. So you see we have data for April over here, and all of this data is based on the charts over here. So it says that the visits and revenue both has increased between March 18 and April 20. Now it has automatically calculated this growth and is showing you over here. Revenue started trending up on December 2019, right? So you see revenue and it says that after December 2019 the revenue started trending up and it rose by around 50%. That as well also the smart narratives have already calculated. So all of this is great set of calculations that is already done by Power BI, and it's all based on the charts over here, right? It's not based on the base data. On the base data, these charts are based, and the smart narratives are based on these charts or the visuals. So that's what smart narratives are all about. Now, how do I add a smart narrative for a visual? So go to any visual, let's say this visual is selected, you right click it and you will see the option of summarize. So once you click the summarize, you will see that it again loads the smart narratives of that particular visual, right? So this is how you can generate smart narratives for a particular chart too. uh, Again I will go to some another so let's go to, by the time this loads, let's go to the transactions tab. You will see that there is already a summary, and this summary is of the scatter chart, right? So it shows up various transactions. So Power BI analyzes the data, shows which city, so which city or region has the highest revenue per transaction and also has the highest number of transactions. The smart narrative also shows the expected range of values for these metrics, and you see that most cities produce less than $45 per transaction, and have less than 10 transactions. So this is again some insights that are all based on this particular chart, right? So you can probably further share it in teams, you can remove it, you can put up a spotlight on it, you can get further insights from this, and you can even pin this particular visual. So now we have seen how to add these summary analysis. What is also possible is to edit the summaries, right? The smart narrative summaries are highly customizable. You can edit to the existing text. You can add to the existing text using the command box button. So I'll go back to the products tab over here, and you will see that this is something that I started generating, and this is now already here. What I'll do is I'll show you how to update these summary texts. For example, I can simply go ahead and see this text, and I'll select this text and I will click on the bold button over here, and this will make this text as bold. So now how you can add your summaries, right? You can add your own insights using dynamic values. You can map text to existing fields and measures, or use natural language to define a new measure to map to text. For example, we can add information about the number of returned items in the simple file by adding a value. So let me show you how to do that. I'll press enter over here. I will say total returns is equal to, and at this point I will click on plus value. So I will ask over here count of returns. This is all natural language, and this will give me this count. I can further modify it a bit. I can change its type, add maybe some, change the currency, change the commas and percentages, everything. So I can simply keep the value name as this and click on save. So once I click on save, this will update this text over here, and this text is now edited and added. So we have edited the summary, and we have also added our own inputs to the service summary if we wanted to add anything more. So as you type, you can get from a list of suggestions, as it's common in the Q&A visual that we have. You can it's easy. So in addition to asking questions of your data in a Q&A visual, you can all create your own calculations without even using the DAX measures. You can simply write count of returns, highest return city, or the region with the highest revenue, city with the highest visits. You can do all of that simply by natural language, and you will have those insights over here. So it's that simple as that. You can further, if you have created it, you can further edit it, change it, highlight it, make it bold, change the text size, color, font, indent it, add even links to it. You can do all of that. So it's very easy and definitely very helpful. What also you will be seeing is sometimes there is this symbol that is coming up, which is a hidden summary symbol. So this indicates that the current data and filters produce no result for the value. A summary is empty when no insights are available, right? So when the suppose chart line is flat, so then the summary of high and low values will become empty, but the summary might appear under other conditions. So when you try to edit this summary, then only these icons will come. But if you click outside, you will see that you can see the whole summary together. But when you edit it, you will see that, hey, there is some summary over here. But right now, these filter settings will not allow this summary to generate. So this is what it is. Also, this summary is dynamic. It automatically updates the generated text and dynamic values when you cross filter, right? For example, if you select electronics products in the sample files, maybe donut chart, I will only, let's say, maybe I first click outside and only select electronics. So you see, this is loading. So now this whole thing will update, right? So the rest of the report is cross-filtered. Summary is also cross-filtered to focus on the electronics products. So in this case, the visits and revenue. So you see all the charts are updated, and now the summary will also update. The visits and revenues have different trends. So the summary text is updated to reflect the trend, right? The even the count of returns that we have added, that will as well change. So empty summaries which were there, it might now pop up, and other summaries that are there might go hidden. So that's as well possible. So all of this is possible, and also just let's have a look at the some more limitations that we have discussed. A couple of things that you also must be aware of, that is that there's a limit to the number of summaries that can be generated. So smart narratives picks the most interesting things to summarize about the visual. Smart Narratives generates up to 4 summaries per visual and up to 16 per page. The summaries that are granted for a page, like generated for a page, it depends on the location and size of the visuals, and it avoids generating the same kind of summaries for different visuals. Therefore, summarizing just the visual can generate more summaries that are not present while summarizing the whole page. So you see now the whole this thing has changed. My total returns have changed, and it's only talking about electronics. Everything is electronics over here, right? So you can have a look, and this is what it is. So this is what it is. Also, one important thing that also we will cover quickly is that you can add the smart narrative icon to a visual. So you can add an optional icon to the header of a visual that triggers an on-demand summary of the visual contents. We can add it for accessibility purposes, to announce results to any assistive technology. So how do we add it? Let me first minimize this one. So I'll come here, I'll minimize this one for some time. So I will go ahead and click outside. I will select this particular chart. So when you go for this particular chart, you go to the format pane and then you select general. So under the header icons, if you scroll down and also click on icons section, you will see that there is a smart narrative over here that is currently off. You have to turn it So when your report readers hover over this visual, they see and select the smart narrative icon, and this will expose a text explanation of the visual. Unlike the other smart narratives, they cannot pin this narrative to the report, but you can see that there is a smart narrative that has already popped up. Great. So I've already explained you what are the considerations and limitations while using this particular feature, but definitely a very amazing insights feature that Microsoft has added in the Power BI tool. Uh, there are smart narratives for the whole report that are based on the charts, and there are smart narratives based on only a particular visual. And also you can add the smart narrative icon on each visual, and that will help report readers get a bit of automated generated summary of that particular chart, which is dynamic and is available depends on the filter selection. So right now I've only filtered for electronics, but if I maybe filter out this electronics thing and bring in everything, then my whole smart narrative will change, and this will now load for all the products and not just electronics. So that was all about smart narratives. Amazing feature. Go ahead, create some charts and try to add smart narratives by yourself. Add smart narratives, update the smart narrative section by adding your own narratives, and modify what is already available to you so that it suits your requirements and needs. Great. Thank you so much for being a part of this lecture, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back, everyone. Well, do you have a new data set and you are not sure where to start? You need to build a dashboard quickly and want to look for insights you might have missed. This feature in Power BI to run quick insights to generate interesting visualizations that are based on your data is really great. This lecture will explain how to run quick insights on an entire data set. You can also run quick insights on a specific dashboard tile, and you can even run insights on an insight. Now, the insight feature is built on a growing set of advanced analytical algorithms that Microsoft has developed. They continue to use these algorithms to help more people to find insights in their data in new and intuitive ways. So, how to run quick insights on a data set? Let me tell you now. So to do this, what we will do is we will first go and use the sample report. So I'll go to learn, go to sample reports, and probably find out one of the samples. Okay, let's go for supplier quality analysis sample and click on this. So once you do this, your supplier quality analysis is loaded, and you will see that, okay, these are some really good tabs, and we also have some great looking charts. So what I'll do is I'll go to file and I will to go ahead and save a copy in my workspace. So I will call it as supplier analysis. That's it. And then I will choose a destination workspace. I'll call it as my workspace, and then I will click on save. So here it is. I have saved this report in my Power BI service. So now I will go to home and I'll choose the workspace. I can either go to workspace and choose the workspace from here, or I can also find my active workspace over here, which is my workspace. So I click this, I scroll down and I will find that I have these three new options over here. One is supplier analysis report, the supplier quality analysis report, and the supplier quality analysis sample data set. So this is something that I saved right now, and this is the data set that I am interested in. Now what I have to do is I have to click on this ellipsis over here and click on this option of get quick insights. So once you do that, it starts searching for insights, and it will notify us when our insights are ready. Power BI uses various algorithms to search for trends in our data sets, and you see that our insights are now ready. So I will click on View Insights. Great. So it has come up with certain charts. You see, if you scroll down, you will see a lot of charts that are already popped up. So you see, you all only gave data set to Power BI, and you already have a lot of charts already available. Uh, there are some data sets that cannot generate insights because the data isn't statistically significant, right? So in that case, you have must optimize your data for Power BI quick insights. So what we have here are a lot of dashboards, or basically visualizations. There are around 30 plus separate insight cards, and each card has a chart or graph, plus it also has a short description. So what you will now do is hover over a card, and then you can select the pin icon to add this visualization to a dashboard. So I will click on this pin visual, and then it will ask me, where would you like to pin it to? Will it do you like to pin it to an existing dashboard, or do you want to make a new dashboard? So what I'll do is I'll go for uh, a new dashboard, and I will call it as supplier insights. All right, and then I can pin it. So this will automatically create the dashboard and as well pin it to this dashboard. Great. Now what I'll do is I will now go ahead tell you more details on this. You can use to focus, use this button to focus on, put up sub filters, change the filters. If you want to sort out filters, you can as well do that. You can highlight any of these bars and have a look at more details about it, and then you can also exit focus mode and go back to all of these charts that are available to you. So in the focus mode, you can filter the visualization, you can expand and collapse the filter pane, and then you can use it. You can also pin the insight card to a dashboard. You can now run the insights on the card itself. So what I'll do is I'll go to the focus mode once again, and what I'll do is I will click on get insights over here. So if I click on get insights, there are more insights that are available in the insight that was already created. That's right. So this new the insight displays on the left, and the new cards that are based solely on the data in that insight, it displays along on the right. So if you scroll down, you will see there is a lot of insights separately that are based on this particular data. Amazing. So you haven't done anything, but you have got a lot of visuals that are insights, and for every other visual that are inside, there are more insights around it. Amazing. You can exit the focus mode. There are more options over here to generate the QR code. You can export the data. You can exit the focus mode again. And if I tell you that I really like this particular chart as well, so I can simply click this. Where would you like to pin it to, existing or a new dashboard? So I have the supplier insights existing dashboard that I just created in the previous visual. I can then click on pin, and then I can also go to the dashboard directly from here. So you see that these are the two visuals that I got from the supplier insights data set insights. And you can further, there are a lot of charts over here that you can use to add further. You can edit, you can go to edit mode, and you can choose to add a tile, change the dashboard theme. You can do all of that stuff, and then you can see related content, open usage metrics, subscribe to this dashboard. There's a lot that you can do, and this is definitely something that will be really helpful when you are beginning with a data set and you are not sure what kind of insights will make sense. So this way you can automatically get insights first of all, and also you can get ideas of charts. And not just that, all of these visuals that you have created, they all have some more insights behind them, and all of that can be also automatically generated by Power BI. Amazing. This was about the quick insights in Power BI. Thank you, and I will see you in another lecture. Hi everyone and welcome back. In this lecture, we will have a look at a very special component in the Power BI desktop ribbon, which is the optimize ribbon, because that can improve report authoring performance by pausing data source queries when adding or changing visuals on the report surface. So let's open up a particular report, and once it opens, let me tell you how it exactly works. So we now have the optimize ribbon over here. Let me just click on it to activate. So we have all of these features available. Now, uh, how you use features on the ribbon depends on the table data storage modes used in our model. For example, visuals query local tables in import mode. Visuals use direct query mode to query table data at the data source. And the options between import and direct query mode, such as hybrid tables or data sets with some tables in import mode and others in the direct query mode. You can also create a report from an entirely published data set or model from Power BI, Azure Analysis, etc., where you may not know what storage mode the underlying tables are using. The ribbon includes features that can be used for any report authoring scenario. However, direct query reports in particular will find them most useful as queries are sent to the data source with most visual changes. Direct query report visuals that send queries to the data source can be identified in performance analyzer over here that we will explore. Now, we will now have a look at all the features the optimize ribbon provides. Also, there are some documentation around direct query optimization scenarios that you must have a look at on the documentation. That will be really helpful for you. So what are the different options that we have? The first is the pause visuals. So typically when authoring a report, we create a new visual or change an existing visual by adding or removing columns and measures to the visuals field well. When making changes like these, a DAX query is sent to the data source and the data in the visual is updated. You can see if DAX queries are being sent by using Performance Analyzer. If changes to visuals seem slow, you can stop those DAX queries to the data source by using the pause visuals in the optimize ribbon. When paused, the entire report is paused. Instead of visuals sending DAX queries because of changes, visuals enter a visual has pending changes state. No queries are sent to the data source until refreshed or the report is unpaused. Also, remember that when paused, the report surface shows a banner with refresh visual, refresh button, refresh visuals like this uh, in the report, and a resume visual queries button that unpauses the paused state. So you see these are the two buttons that come up now. Individual visuals can show a banner with refresh button allowing you to refresh that visual. Other visuals in the report remains paused. Okay, then it shows the visuals earlier state if available, or it remains empty. Visuals can have columns or measures added, moved or removed, allowing you to make changes without having to wait for the visual to refresh or run queries with each change. Also, it blocks formatting actions as the formatting options are based on the data in the visual. Now, before the visual enters a pending state, you can perform any formatting option and many such options will still show immediately. But if a formatting action such as conditional formatting requires the visual to run a query, the visual enters the pending state. So you can make changes to the visuals, you can add stuff, you can remove, you can add visuals, etc. So when you have done all of that changes, then you can click on refresh over here, and you can click on refresh and the data will refresh. Further, you can select refresh visuals, and you can also select resume visual query. So you can click on refresh visuals, that will refresh all of the visuals. For the time being, you can resume visual queries, and this will then do the entire change. So all the visuals will now refresh and the report will be unpaused. So remember that when you are working with visuals in the paused state or pending state, all the tooltips are disabled, the filter pane is not affected, the automatic page refresh is paused, but the continues once visuals are resumed. You can see all of that changes once you keep on updating these visuals and keep adding new things, and then you will find that, hey, yes, these visuals are currently paused and no new data is coming in, and once you unpause it, then it resumes back to its general state. Also, when you save and close a Power BI desktop file with the report paused, the report remains paused when reopened. Okay. Repeated actions such as adding a field that was added before may not trigger a visual pending state or take a visual out of the pending state. If there is a cache of data matching the visual configuration available, Power BI Desktop uses that data instead of sending a query. Then we have this option of refresh visuals. So you can select the refresh visuals in the optimize ribbon or refresh over here in the report banner to manually refresh all of the visuals in the report while keeping the report paused after the refresh has completed. So refreshing this way is effectively the same behavior as refresh visuals on the performance analyzer pane. We have on the performance analyzer, there is also something called as refresh visuals. You can use that same thing, you can actually use these refresh visuals if it is in a paused state. Now the next is optimization presets. With optimization presets, you can quickly choose and apply predefined combination of settings tailored to your reporting scenario. Now, what are these presets? The first is query reduction. It turns off cross highlighting and cross filtering and adds an apply button to the filter pane. This setting is best for direct query connections. The predefined combination of settings for query reduction follows the recommended best practices, and you can look at the documentation around it to understand more about the direct query optimization scenarios. The second is, which is default, is interactivity. It allows cross highlighting, cross filtering, and real-time changes to slicers and filters, which is best for the import mode. And the last and not the least is the customize. It opens up the query reduction settings of the Power BI desktop. Options dialog, you can choose which query reduction features you want to use. You can have a look at all of these filters, instantly apply basic filter changes, add apply button, add a single apply button. You can disable cross highlighting or filtering by default. So all of these options are available to you, and these are a part of the query reduction settings. Great. So this was about the optimization presets. Now let's go to the performance analyzer. So the optimized ribbon includes the same performance analyzer button as shown in the view ribbon. So if you go to the view ribbon as well, there is a performance analyzer, and in the optimize button as well, ribbon as well, there we have a performance analyzer. When using the performance analyzer, you can see and record logs that measure how each of your report elements performs during interaction and which aspects of their performance are most or least resource intensive. Using performance analyzer can also help you determine if a particular visual is using a direct query. So direct query visuals have a direct query row. So you can make changes, put up filters. So you can actually first rather than doing this, first let's start recording. And now you can put up some filter on this visual, or maybe select something on this particular chart, move it over here, and let's say if I select something over here, then you see that there is something cross highlighted. So you see some setting has changed, and then now I can click outside. I have clicked on cross highlighted, I have select this visual, and I have selected a particular product. So you see all of this is getting recorded, whatever change we are doing and how long it is taking. So you can now clear this and maybe restart the recording. You can export it. So there are different export options that come in, that comes in a JSON file. You can further refresh the visuals as well, that will as well be recorded. You can then stop recording if you want, and then this will be available to you for your review. uh, what else? So this is the performance analyzer, and definitely kind of very useful for you to see how long each of the uh, step you are taking is taking. So if you look at this particular visual, like sum of gross sales by product and segment, you see that there is a lot of time that was being taken for some other queries, but the DAX query and visual display were very quick. Again, this is the only place where a lot of time is being consumed. So profit by month and year, so all of this is there, and then you can copy this query and then use it to evaluate further, right? So most of the times is being spent over here, and this slicer, in this slicer, in this particular chart, etc. So you can evaluate all of that, and then that will be really helpful for you to understand and optimize your chart. And then the last button we have is apply all slicers button. So if a report page has number of slicers, you can consider adding apply all slicers and clear all slicers button, right? So let me close this. So these are different slicers. So I can choose all of this. And then we have apply all slicers. So there's this button that comes in, right? And then you can simply click on it, and this will apply all the different slices in the report. So you can then go back, and this will apply all the slicers, and then you can choose whatever happens, this button style, shape, etc. So these buttons apply all the slicers or clear all the slicers on a page with one click. It reduces the number of unnecessary visual queries the slicers send, and that will be visible to the end user. So you can apply all the slicers, and then when all the slicers are done, and user might want to go back to the reset to the factory settings that you have provided, you can just maybe this will give you clear all slicers button to clear all the slicers on a page with one single click. You can change the properties, the title, the effects, etc. And then also you can change the shape, style, rotation, and action options for this particular button. So this was all about the optimize button, optimize ribbon that is available in the Power BI desktop. Kind of very useful in scenarios where you have to understand if your reports are running slow, if you have direct query connections with SQL Server or Azure database, and your reports are running slow, then you can evaluate and understand which part of the report is taking really long. You can pause visuals, you can refresh visuals, we can set up optimization presets and use performance analyzer to understand the actual pain point. Thank you for having this lecture with me, and understanding the different optimization options available in Power BI desktop. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next lecture.